This is TechCentral. I'm here with Michele Gamberini, who is the Chief Technology and Information Officer at MTN South Africa, and we're in Soweto to have a look at some base stations, one of which was vandalized. The one behind us here was not vandalized. In fact, this one was very well secured. Michele, tell us a little bit about the vandalism that's happening on the MTN network and how it's affecting your ability to service your customers.
First of all, I have to say it's not affecting only MTN network. It's an industry and cross-industry problem, affecting everybody. It's affecting us, Vodacom, Telcom, the same way, as well as Eskom, as well as other industry. Unfortunately, it's an endemic phenomenon in South Africa. The number of vandalized sites in our case is quite high. Just to give you an idea, last year in Eastern Cape we had roughly 400 sites, single sites, that have been vandalized in different measure. Let me say, we have had sites completely vandalized, and some others where we have got battery stolen or cable cut. But the phenomenon is quite heavy, and we are taking different measures in order to make that more difficult, let me say, or to avoid to have vandalized sites.
400 sites in one province in 1 year is absolutely shocking. How much is this costing you on an annual basis?
It's costing quite a lot. What I can tell you that this year for network resilience overall, so including power resilience and vandalism, MTN will invest at least 1.5 billion rand. So we have already appointed that, and we will really push in order to speed up the implementation of these investments, all the measures that we'll take, that goes from new batteries to shelters that harden our sites, to the installation of power generators, in order really to give to our customers the possible highest quality of service.
So 1.5 billion rand, and you mentioned that figure may in fact rise later this year, depending on how serious this problem gets for you.
Exactly, that is the starting point. Network resilience is really our main focus in 2023. We believe that connectivity today is something more than a service, it's a human right. We have to ensure everybody the benefit of a modern connected life. It has to do not only with consumer but also with public administration and enterprises. So we cannot afford really to have our service down for a lot of reasons.
This must be very, very frustrating for MTN. I mean, you spend all this money on this infrastructure and then it's getting vandalized and you're having to replace it on a continuous basis. You must be taking money away from network deployments, expanding your 5G infrastructure, for example, just so that you can keep the lights on.
Let me say that we are giving highest possible priority to network resilience. It doesn't mean that we will not invest on let me say, network modernization and 5G. We'll most probably maybe delay a little bit something, but we intend to review every single month our investments to understand, depending on the level of the investment that will be dedicated to network resilience, how much we can then dedicate to other issues, among which 5G. I have to remind you maybe that we have right now almost 2,000 sites that ensure more than 25% population coverage on 5G. We are offering one of the best service in Africa in terms of network performance, so we are quite happy and we'll continue to invest on that.
Now, you're a technology company. Are there technology solutions to this problem?
You're referring to
protecting your base stations, like using cameras, using motion sensors, using Internet of Things.
We have different types of intervention that we use to act or to implement on our sites. They goes for simple protection for the batteries that we call epoxy. It is a concrete protection around the batteries, to the installation of shelters like this one that are containing the batteries that really harden and makes more difficult the possibility for the batteries to be stolen, to bankers that are containing both batteries and rectifiers, so the power plants of the base station and the base station, so the active part. As well as I was telling you, we are installing aluminum cables because we've got a lot of sites where the RF cables and these cables have been cut because of the copper that is inside of the cable, so we are replacing these cables with aluminum cables that are not that attractive on the market.
Are you getting the necessary support you need from law enforcement to protect your sites?
Let me say that we are collaborating with authorities. We are trying to collaborate also with communities. We believe that it's very important really to have a fluid collaboration with communities that have the interest to have our site up in the areas. So we are trying really to use all the synergies that we can use in order to avoid as much as possible this phenomenon.
But just in terms of the law enforcement, are you seeing the criminal prosecutions that you need to try and arrest this problem?
We are collaborating with the authorities. We believe that there must be some action in order to reinforce what they are doing. It's not easy, I have to say, because we are talking about thousands of points that must be defended, but we are confident that together with them we will be able really to make our network more and more resilient.
Michele Gamberini is Chief Technology and Information Officer at MTN South Africa. Thank you for talking to TechCentral.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.